Jai Baba Swami. A very warm welcome to all the guests, participants, and hosts of today's session. This is Samarpan, where we take you through the history of Samarpan meditation as witnessed by first generation sadhaks, and we get to know about their journey and the evolution of Samarpan meditation in various parts of the world. So it's an interview of the souls by the souls to connect with the super soul through the collectivity of souls. I would like to introduce our dear guests for today from Australia. So here we go. Jai Baba Swami Sheetal ji.
Jai Baba Swami.
Jai Baba Swami. Sheetal ji is chartered accountant by profession. She was born in Kenya, East Africa, and completed her education at a university in Perth, Australia. After completing her chartered accountant qualification, she traveled and worked in different parts or different cities in Australia, then UK, Frankfurt in Germany, and finally settling back in Perth, Australia. Her Samarpan journey started in 2013, and she has been a very valuable asset in Guru Karya in Australia as well as in overseas. I bet some of you will find her face familiar, as you might have seen her in some of the Swamiji's online discourses. So I will not give more information, and we will see in the interview more about her. Next, I would like to introduce a beautiful soul, Udyanji. Jai Baba Swami Udyanji.
Jai Baba Swami.
All right. He came to Australia as a student in 2009 to pursue his master's in financial accounting. And then, with the divine blessings of Gurudev, he acquired his residency in Australia, where he is a citizen now. He is also a member trustee. He loves sports. He plays badminton and cricket. His hobbies are meeting new people and spreading love and kindness to whoever he meets. We experienced the same love while interacting with Udyan Bhai during the preparation of this session, so I can vouch to that. So without further delay and not giving too much information, I will take you to Australia. So let's time travel and hear some amazing experiences from the land down under.
Greetings to all. On behalf of Sri Shiv Krupanand Swamiji and Global Samarpan family, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our today's guest all the way from Australia, Uddayan Sharmaji and Sheetal Dattani. You have heard about their introduction and you have seen our program in the past, where we try to bring the history of Samarpan meditation as a journey, how it started, who were the people that became instrumental in this program. Our objective is to make sure we have been living in the life with a lot of problems or tension or anxiety. Here we are trying to connect on a soul level with some informal communication that connects our soul with another soul. And we are trying to build a global community at the soul level with Atmiyata. So without any further ado, let's start the interview. My first question goes to Uddayanji. Uddayanji, please tell us about your personal and professional life, as well as spiritual journey before coming to Samarpan meditation?
Well, thank you so much to the entire team of US for making this program and inviting us on this program. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for putting so much effort in and making this happen. Moving on to the question by Tendraji, I actually had no clue. I just finished my studies back home as a bachelor's in 2006. After that,
When you say back home, you are in India?
Back home in India, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So in 2003, I finished my studies, came back to my hometown again after finishing my bachelor's there. And basically, I never had no background in spirituality, none of my family members did. Even though my grandfather was a Arya Samaji, so all I used to see is there's some mantras which he used to recite and all that, and that's about it. So I had no interest in, even sometimes I can go to temples and stuff, but I never knew and understood the concept of all that. So basically, I just finished my studies, and in 2006, because of my auntie, I got to introduce to this Samarpan meditation. And then after I got introduced, I attended some of the shivirs, which of course I'm going to talk in the later questions that how did it all started. But so I pursued my bachelor's, then came to Australia to study. After that, I did my master's in finance here. And soon after that, slowly and slowly, I didn't even know, somehow the Guru Karya started here. And we are lucky to be a part of that Guru Karya, and slowly we build up our way from there. And here we are in front of you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. So basically, that's what my little introduction is.
Absolutely. So we would like to hear from Sheetalji now. Sheetalji, please tell us about your personal and professional life as well as spiritual journey before coming to Samarpan meditation.
Yes, thank you, Jitandraji, and thank you. It's very much a pleasure to be on this show. I can't say that I had a spiritual journey before I came into Samarpan, but the family I am from, we did practice. It was very open in terms of my parents introduced me to various religions, not boxing in that we are Hindus or we are Christians, but while growing up, we were exposed to many different cultures and different religions. And so I've tagged along with them, and, we were visiting friends who are Muslims. We went to Sunday school, which was in the church. We went to temples and did the puja and all that. So it was very broad and quite a good experience for me in terms of just to experience the different cultures, the different religions that people follow, and the different way people worshipped, and sort of saw how sort of religion worked in their minds and how they followed their faith. And it really broadened my mind in terms of, there's so much out there that we don't understand. And there was always this curiosity for me that, while I wasn't attracted to any one religion or any one practice, but there was always this curiosity that there is something more out there, and there's something that I want to know. There's something that I want to learn more, that I wasn't really satisfied with what I had in terms of religion at home. Anyway, so while I was growing up, I sort of was very interested in the accounting side of it, finance, and how businesses worked. So I came to Australia to study, and at that time, and anyone who's remotely aware of chartered accounting, it's very, very demanding, and had no time for any extracurricular activities or to do anything else. So I was very much focused on my career at that point. After finishing my studies, I joined a Big Four accounting firm, did my qualifications there, and with them, I traveled to many different places, as you heard in my introduction. And that also kind of broadened my experience and my mind, opened my mind up to so many different experiences. And yet there was this curiosity that was burning at the back of my mind. But I I was struggling in terms of how to express it or what I needed to do to satisfy that curiosity or where my life was supposed to go. But I always knew that there was something more.
I think both you and Udyan's story tell everybody in the audience that we can connect with your story. We all come from countries like India and Africa, where secularism is there, where there are diversity of cultures and religion is there. So we learn to appreciate and respect different faith, different religion, and that is one of the blessing in everybody's life if you got that at very young age, because that makes you accept other cultures and other people from different background easily. So I like that part. And I can tell you one thing. I graduated with Bachelor of Science with microbiology major in India, but my heart was always in accounting. So after I moved to Canada, I also went into accounting and management. So that connects us also on that level. This is the question in everybody's mind, that you guys came a little later in Australia. Then how did Samarpan meditation start? Who started it? So we want to know this, and we are going to bring a special guest all the way from UK. May I request Jabin to join us? So my question to you is, how Samarpan meditation started in Australia?
Yeah, that was the time when I went to Australia for my Theosophical Convention. It was international convention, which was in Sydney. Mm-hmm. And that's how I met one of my friend. She was also a Theosophist, and we just got into chat and all that. And then she said, "Why don't you come to my place?" Which was the Gold Coast, the Sunshine Coast, and a little place called Birdrim, just by the sea. Mm-hmm. So we went there to stay for a few days with her, and that's how first time I got introduced to my friend in Australia. And then that was my first visit when actually I went. And then second time I went with Swamiji, So because when I was in Australia, Swamiji just called one day that, "Where are you?" And I said, "Swamiji, I am here for my Theosophical Convention." And she said, "Why don't you make a link there?" So I did talk to my friend that I would like to bring my guru if you allow me, So we had to go through some of this, like who will sponsor and all those things, where will we stay and all those process, as you know, that we have to organize properly. So when we went next time, I went from London, and Swamiji and Sri Lanka came from India, Bombay. Mm-hmm. And that's how we met at one of my friends. She sponsored actually. Her name was Karuna. She used to actually organize for all the sadhus and sants, and she used to invite them. So she had a special, some sort of permit which she could do that. So anyway, we organized that and we stayed at her place, and we did one shibir there. But Swamiji somehow found that he wasn't very happy there. And he said, "Jaya, but I'm not feeling very easy, but let's finish this shibir, then we should move somewhere else. Either we rent a house or something." So I just called my friend Falu that I'm here and I would like to have some help from you. And she said that, "Why don't you come to my place?" So I said, "Why don't you come and pick us, So that's how quickly we moved to her place.
You can introduce Falu in this picture?
Yeah, Falu is actually very close to Swamiji, next to Swamiji. The dress looks like orangey, but it's not orange.
On the left, pink.
Yeah. On the left, yeah.
Yes.
And on the right is Sherry. She's a Maori, proper New Zealander.
Australian, yeah. Mm-hmm.
A Maori girl. Mm-hmm. So these are the few people. There's one Indian man even. He came from Sydney, actually. I don't remember his name, actually. Mm-hmm. So that's how all these people came into the first shibir. But this was again held at Sherry's place. So the sea is just right in front of her house, you know.
Very nice. Very
So
nice.
we did one shibir in Sherry's house, we did one shibir in Falu's house, and we did one shibir in Melissa is not here actually, in Melissa's house even. So we had about 3 to 4 shibirs done there, you know. And that's how we stayed in different places. Like when I say that, we stayed at Falu, it was Christmas time. So Swamiji was really happy with the family and everything. And he dressed up even as a Christmas father.
Wow.
And he gave gift to everyone, chocolates to everyone. So that was a beautiful stay with my friend Falu. You know, we were very comfortable over there. And when I say Sherry is she's a crystal healer. So these were all the healers actually, or in the group who you see them. They are all healers actually, most of them. And that's how we did one shibir with the healers, you know. And with Melissa, you know, she came actually at Karuna's place, and she had lost her husband, so she was a little bit sad. And I don't know, Swamiji can always sense it. So he wanted Melissa to be there and be with us, and she used to take us to the sea every morning and all that. And we stayed at her house even for a few days, and Swamiji made her feel that she can use her husband's bedroom, which she wasn't. So that was one reason why we had to be there, to make her more comfortable.
Right.
And then Swamiji even invited her to India, and she did go to India. And she was really well looked after by Ujjwala and Swamiji. So that was the little story. Now, when you see the picture of the zoo, we went to this zoo actually. And if you all remember, there was a person who used to play with crocodiles and all that. I don't remember his name. He was a very famous person. We got, you know, there's a lady in the uniform, the khaki uniform, who is feeding little kangaroo. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. She used to work in the zoo, and she wanted Swamiji to go to visit this zoo. So that's how we went to this zoo. And if you want to see Melissa, she's in this picture. This picture standing next to me is a girl with light blue. Yeah, that's Melissa actually. So this is how we went to see this place. And this kangaroo was not very well. So Swamiji fed the kangaroo, and the kangaroo started jumping up.
Swamiji is feeding the kangaroo. Yes.
And when we went to zoo, that clown, he wanted a picture with Swamiji. So you can see how he's waving with Swamiji, you know, in that picture. So it was a beautiful, Swamiji really enjoyed being out in zoo on that day. We spent all day there. And I forgot to tell you.
Are you talking about Steve Irwin, the Australian zookeeper?
Yes, exactly,
the one who used to...
Yes, Hitendra, that's the one. Yeah. Okay, now I forgot to tell you last time that there was one of Falu's friends. She was a healer, you know, and she wanted us to go to her place because she used to give the vibrated water to people, and people used to get healed. And somebody said, okay, we don't mind going. So we went to her house, a very nice, beautiful house. And she had a very big pot of water with gold pieces in it. And she said that she used to vibrate the water and give it to people, whoever came from anywhere. And Swamiji says, so you heal the water with the gold pieces. And she said, would you like me to vibrate this water for you? And she said, yes, why not? You can. So Swamiji said that you don't have to use now these gold pieces in there. You can take them out. I will vibrate the water for you, but go on filling it, but don't sell it. If you can give free, then fine, you know. And she agreed with Swamiji. So that's how the big pot of water was vibrated by Swamiji. And then she had a machine where she says, Swamiji, I would like to check your aura even. And she she told Swamiji to sit on one chair, and she allowed Swamiji to keep both the hands on that machine, and both the hands, and then the picture came out, and she was just really, really shocked to see such a beautiful aura of Swamiji. That was the first time ever we did it actually in Australia. You know, then
so even before London, you took the aura first in Australia?
Yes, we did. I forgot about that, you know. I totally forgot. Then when Swamiji came second time, I mean, when he came to UK, we did most of the 3 pictures of aura are taken here. But we did one in Australia, and she said, I've never seen such a beautiful aura of anyone. Then we had to give her a bit of history of Samarpan and everything. And that's how. But this is like, as I say, this trip, no one got so much involved in Samarpan or took the Samarpan forward. And then when we went another time, when Swamiji was in Anushthan, me and Sheila Makadia, we were told to go back to Australia and do one, if we can do one shibir. And that's the time when Udyan came in our life, and Udyan organized everything for us. And that's how the Namrata and Ankit came, and that's how the Mangal Murti went. So that's the story of whole long story.
Wow. So you have been such an instrumental person, not just for us in the Americas, but also for the Australia. So basically, I would say that the credit goes to Jaya Pisavadia for connecting the dots from India to all the way in the southeast corner and northeast corner here in USA, northwest corner in the USA. I've collected a couple of points from your story. I want to bring to the attention of our audience that many of us know today Samarpan meditation as a big organization with so many devotees practicing it all over the world. But we do not know the secrets or the history behind how it all started. And as you heard from Jayaben's own story, that she was attending the Theosophical Society's International Convention, and it happened so that Swamiji called. And this is how Swamiji used to inspire us and make us medium for promoting Guru Karya or promoting Samarpan meditation in the world. So Jayaben became instrumental to bring Swamiji to Australia. So that was a new country explored by Swamiji. And that is how it started, as you heard. But you have to appreciate that it takes only one person with determination, and then rest will join. Even though so many healers joined in this program, none of them carried forward Samarpan meditation. And after sadhaks from India and other parts of the world like Shitalji who came, they carried forward the Samarpan mission in Australia. So that is quite amazing and very interesting for us to know. Thank you very much, Jayaben. I really appreciate your help and bringing all these beautiful pictures. Surendra Bhai is always behind Jayaben so that she can continue supporting us in Guru Karya in the Samarpan mission. So I want to thank both Mr. Surendra Pisavadia and Mrs. Jayaben to help us. Udayan, please tell us about when and how you met Swamiji for the first time, or when Samarpan came in your life for the first time, and what was your anubhuti or experience?
Oh, this is where the fun begins. So, as we were discussing in the first question, and I also wanted to speak, but I know I had to speak only a little, that's just the first question. So moving on from there, when I finished my studies, now here we go back. After finishing my bachelor's degree, I went back home. I'm from Ajmer, basically. It's a small town in Rajasthan, in the state of Rajasthan. It's a beautiful place. After I finished my bachelor's, I went back home, and there I see my auntie sitting and waiting for me at my house just to see me because I finished my studies and went back. I'm like, hey, auntie, how are you and all that? Oh, no problem. And my auntie said, actually, we are all going to Rajkot in 2006 for the Guru Purnima. And I said what it is all about, because honestly, as I mentioned before, I had no background, no interest, nothing. However, I was very open about all the religion. You can take me to mosque, I will go to mosque. You can take me to church, I'll go to church. But I don't have any beliefs. I never went to ask for something. So I just used to go if my friends were going or if my family were going. So that's the only thing I knew about spirituality or religion or anything. So now my auntie said, how about you come and join us, because there's a whole bus going from Ajmer and we are going for this thing. I said, what it is all about? And she didn't tell me that she is going to a place where we are actually have to stay on the premises and we can't even go out of the premises. So she said, we are going for a picnic. I said, no problems. I join you guys. So I went with them and there was a whole bus full of people, good food, everything. So I said, okay, let's go. So I actually went with all of those people there, and I really had a lot of fun till we get to the point where there is actually that Guru Purnima was happening. And then I went there. I'm like, you said we were going somewhere else. And she said, Nana, this is where we were coming. And here we go inside now, because you can't come out in Guru Purnima. You have to stay there for 3 days. You have to eat the food which is given, like which is prepared by all the sadhaks, which is a really simple food, and that's what you have to eat. And I honestly speaking, I never have experienced that kind of food, neither have experienced that kind of surroundings. And I just was telling my auntie, what did you do here? Where did you get me? You lied to me. And she said, now you're here and you can't go out. I said, can I please go out? And I can stay in the hotel, and if you want, I can come and attend the program, but I can't stay here. And she goes to me, no, this is something like this and that. And so I said,
so
damn,
a fresh graduate find like it was a punishment for you?
It was a big punishment. I'm seriously, I'm so sorry for using this language, but I'm exactly going to tell you how I felt that time.
No. We like your honesty. We want that way, because that is what is the story of many people, that we come into this path with our own mindset and with our own intellectual interpretation of life. But in fact, that is how everybody started, because we are who we are, and we should always express, as Swamiji says, how you feel inside. So I really admire you that you have courage to tell exactly the way you felt. Please go ahead.
No, and then I told my auntie, there is no way I will make whatever I'm sick, I have to go and blah, blah, blah. So my auntie said to me, okay, how about I pay you 5,000 rupees and you choose to stay? I said, yeah, no problems, I'll stay. So it's like approximately $100 at that time. I said, yeah, sure, no problems, I'll stay, no problems. I struggled with food for the first time. I struggled with what was going on. I just was looking at people and I'm like, what is happening here? So no clue. Well, eventually I settled in after a few hours. I had whatever I had, and then I started joining those people. So I'm very close to my aunt. I love her no matter what I say, but because she was around, so that was more than enough for me. So I stayed with her and we spent so much time together. Now, everything was happening. I attended the discourse. The first time Swamiji came, I attended that. I sat down and I was actually listening. And when I was actually listening, slowly and slowly, I started realizing that it was all making sense. The reason why it was all making sense is because he was actually communicating as if he was communicating just to me, even though there were 3,000 people there. But I felt as if he was communicating with me personally, because everything he was saying, he was just talking basic. His language was so easy to understand that it was just connecting to me. So I actually felt like listening to Swamiji. So I was listening and listening. But of course, I was very new, so I didn't know what's going on. Slowly and slowly, and there is very few things which got to me. Since Swamiji mentioned about you never talk bad about anything, never talk negative about anything. So just the basic things which really got to me. And then the program got over, as in the Guru Purnima session was done, the little talks were done, like the discourse by Swamiji. And then the next day comes and people were talking all about energies and vibrations and experiences. And I'm going in my head, man, what are they talking about? What is this vibration? Wherever you go, they talk about energy. whoever people you see, they are talking between themselves and they are saying, oh, there was such good vibrations, there was such good like that, I experienced this. And I'm going in my head, either these people are going cuckoo or either something wrong with me, that I'm not able to understand their language at all. And then here we go. So I started making fun of vibrations. So I was going to my auntie, oh, auntie, see, there's vibration coming, there is this coming. So I was literally making fun. And my auntie was laughing because she knew that whatever I was saying is coming from a pure heart, because it's just that I didn't know about it. So she was laughing about it, and we spent the whole night together, and we were just laughing. And here comes the next day. Now on the next day, I still remember as if it was yesterday, Swamiji, there were the thing for Guru Purnima, whatever the ritual is, was happening. And after the ritual, we all do the Aarti. Mm-hmm. So while we were doing the Aarti, and I was actually having this, and in front of me, there were so many people, and I'm going like, why all of us has to do it? Because people in the front can do it and we can just watch it. So that's fine. Everything, I was just completely blank, and I was doing the same as everyone was doing. Now, while I was doing it, while I was performing the Aarti and I was going round and round just like everyone else, I felt that there is goosebumps in my body. So I thought, okay, they must be just those little goosebumps, sometimes those kind of chills which we get normally. So that could be just it, and that's about it. But when I was doing it, for the entire Aarti till it finished, my entire body was literally feeling and experiencing those goosebumps all the way through. And while I was experiencing all that, and that is the time I think this is something more than a goosebump. This is just not a goosebump. And same thing as if somewhere from behind or somewhere from within, there was an answer which I received that yesterday, the energy, the vibration which you were making fun about, which you were talking about, this is what they are called. This is what people experience. And this is for you, just as an example. So here you go, just experience this. So it was more as a blessing and a curse, I don't know, but it was, of course, eventually when I found out, it was more as a blessing. So something which I was making a fun a day before, something I was making a fun, like in a funny way, I was taking it. Guruji just taught me a lesson right there and then, that this is actually people mean when they say that high vibrations, low vibrations, or energy. So this is what it means when people talk about it. So that was my first thing. That was the first thing I experienced there. And I knew it since then that there is something behind this. No matter how much I joke, of course, I still don't know what the concept is all about. But I knew one thing for sure. This energy based, this is all energy based, and there is something more to it. I experienced that and I left it like that. And this is how my first experience was with Swamiji.
That was amazing experience. And I want to give you certain things about your experience. Like many people who do not understand vibrations or they do not understand energy, it does not mean that they are not experiencing it. Exactly like what you said, that you thought that probably sometime you feel cold or chills or based on your body's physiological condition or the weather or things like that. You took it like that in the first day. And second day, while you were doing the Aarti, as we know, Aarti always have very deep effect on your 5 elements of the body as well as all your 7 chakras. So what happens is when you felt that, at that time, through the lamp, through the flame of the fire, you were clarifying and purifying your chitta as well as your 5 elements and your chakras, and you were able to benefit, to connect with the energy that was being received by your body, by your soul, and you were feeling that energy. So this is what Swamiji says, जिस दिन आपको पहली बार अनुभव होगा, आपकी बुद्धि हाथ में धरी की धरी रह जाएगी. Meaning that the day you would realize or experience these first vibrations, your intellect or your logical mind is going to be held on your hand as it is. And in English, we call it as epiphany. because that is the time to realize that my thinking or my interpretation of the life and the way people perceive these experiences was different. And it is the beginning, because then you go inward. So far you were looking outside, now you are going to go inward. And second thing that you told is you felt like Swamiji was talking to you personally in front of all these 3,000 people, because Swamiji is always talking to your soul. He never talks to you with your personality, with your ego, with your intellect as a person. So that is the reason why you felt that. That is my interpretation, okay? But I'm just trying to explain you that how you went through that. And this is what we call in the Samarpan language, anubhuti. So I think your experience is something that connect with every young person, because when you graduate, when you are finishing your study, your objective is to go in the world, establish yourself, make money, get name and fame, which is the story of everybody. So nothing wrong. But again, when we grow further on our spiritual journey, this kind of grid that your auntie gave you, that I will give you 5,000, stay there, that can hold sometimes people into the mission. But the meaning of Samarpan is how much you can give up. That is what comes in the next part of your story. Let's hear that. Shitalji, I would like to get the same answer from you. Thank you. Udayan, we will continue on the next part. Shitalji, please tell us, what was the first time you came to know about Samarpan meditation, and how did you felt in your first rebuild?
That's very difficult to follow Dianji's example, but I'll try to share what I can remember. After focusing on my career for about 8 years, I needed to take a break because, of course, the job is very demanding. At that time, I was then working in the UK. So I took a break from my career and just wanted to spend some time, enjoying what life had. So while I was on the break, my brother, his wife, and my father were going on a tour to India, touring around Gujarat. And I thought, okay, let me join them and see, sort of the ancestral roots of where, my family is from. And we traveled a few places, and we had a week's time in one place, which was Vidyanagar, very close to Anand. And at that time, my brother was already following Samarpan meditation. And because we had the break of a week, he looked up where if there was any shibir or center nearby. So he wanted to go and visit. And it just turned out that the very next day, the shibir was starting, the video shibir for Swamiji was starting in Anand, and he asked me, do you want to just come along? I'm not going to tell you so much about it, but why don't you just come and hear and just sit? You don't have to do anything. You don't have to chant. You don't have to do any rituals. Just come and sit and listen and see how you feel. And if you like it, you can listen more. If you don't, we can go and do some other sightseeing stuff. So I agreed. I was lucky enough to be exposed to the different religions when I was young, and that sort of had opened my mind. And when I went there, it was very much with an open mind to satisfy this curiosity I had as to, okay, what's going on. And as Udyanji has already mentioned, when I sat there, Swamiji was talking in such a simple language. It was it was in a way that was very connective. You can understand the language that he's speaking because he's speaking out of his own personal experience. He's not talking the language of, 1,000 years ago or what's happened in the past. He was talking about his own life experience, and he was giving examples that everyday people can relate to. And it was so much touching for me. And it was, I hadn't gone in there with the intention that, I'm going to follow spirituality and find a guru, but suddenly I felt myself being attracted to that sort of concept of, yes, I want a guru in my life and I want to learn more about spirituality. And I just felt like, okay, this is what I had been searching for, and I had found it. And this was on the very first day. And then on the, for some reason, my heart was set on doing the full 8 days. And from then on, and a couple of days later, my brother said, well, we've actually got something else that has come up, and we're going to go for a couple of days to another town to visit someone that we need to. And I said, well, you guys go along. I'm going to stay here, and I'm going to finish the full 8 days of the Shibir. And I really want to do it because I feel that I feel a connection here with Swamiji. And I ended up doing the full 8 days. And I for some reason, I had this connection that I knew this was it for me. I didn't have any sort of, okay, I'll try and see, or I'm not sure about what he's talking about. It just felt right.
Absolutely.
It's a bit difficult to explain, but that's what it felt to me. And it felt just right. And it felt like, okay, we've gone all around the world and we've come back home.
Right.
And that's what it felt to me. So I continued that. And then I continued to do the 45 days of meditation every day without missing any days. And when I came back to Australia, I continued doing that. Now, I was living in Perth, so there were no centers here at the time, but I had a resolution within me that I don't want to stop. And despite not having other people to talk to or another center, I continued to do that. And I've never looked back since. Yeah.
So that is a beautiful experience. It brings a different perspective also for a newcomer, that you were totally sold out in the first day of the 8 days workshop. And this is another story that many people have who are watching this program, that Swamiji says in his 8 days Mega Shibir or Mahashibir that all you have to do is go and spread this news as an invitation to come only on the first day. Let them come and sit down in front of everybody with this collectivity of souls, and you will see that they will be inspired if they are looking. From your answer, first answer that you told, that you have been very respectful to different cultures, different religion, and you have traveled to different part of the world also by the time you reach to Anand for this 8 day Shibir. You have seen the world, you have seen different culture, you have seen different people, and still you mentioned one word in your first answer also, that I was open-minded and I was seeking for new information, that what could be a new approach for spiritual journey or inner journey. And as soon as it came in your life, I can see that nobody can stop. By the way, what is the name of your brother who brought you there?
Jayesh Tatani. So he was introduced in UK and now he's here in Australia.
Very nice, very nice. So I want to thank Jayesh Bhai for bringing you in this path, and we feel very blessed that you are here, because I never met you before this program or never spoke to you before this program, but I have heard your translation in 2017 International Yoga Day when you were doing the translation, if I'm not wrong. Was that right? You did the translation, and it was something that connected me to you as a soul sister and soul brother relationship, that this person is so in-depth and her translation is so well representing Swamiji's energy exactly the way it is. Because there are so many people who are sadhak and who are enthusiastic about doing Guru Karya and doing the translation. But sometimes people lose the bhav or emotion that Swamiji has to share in his speech. When I heard you doing the translation, not only there, even for the Nepal Shibir, when Swamiji was there, I felt that your heart or your soul's energy were exactly matching with Swamiji's energy. And that is why you have also good command on both Hindi and English that was able to come out through you as smooth flow of energy. So I really appreciate that. And I am so proud of you that you made the right decision by staying for 8 days and continuing that 45 days of meditation. Go ahead.
Actually, all the translation Swamiji does, as I mentioned, I was born in Kenya. we spoke Gujarati at home, but no Hindi,
Right.
unfortunately.
Uh-huh.
So after joining Samarpan, there was also because Gujarati and Hindi, there are some words that are similar, although
Very
there are some
close,
that
very
are very
close.
different. So it was a period for me where I had this thirst to understand my guru. At that time, I wanted to, every word that Swamiji was saying, it was very much coveted, and I wanted to understand exactly what he's saying, what he's meaning, and
Right, right.
somehow within a few months of listening to Swamiji's CDs every
Discourses.
day, I started picking up on this Hindi, and it's only Swamiji that enables anyone. Like, we can't do the translation, but he helps us, and the energies help us, and that's how
Absolutely.
it all happens. So for coming
that
from not
itself is
knowing
another
Hindi, yeah.
that
Yes, go on.
itself is another revelation for people who always complain that I do not understand language, but you took it as a mission and took it to the next level. But again, I would bring to the point that when you have connection at the soul level, languages does not matter. And still you are able to pick up the language. It is a blessing from the past life and this life. I would say that you were able to catch and grasp those words of Swamiji in Hindi and put it with your understanding and translate it back again in English. So that is amazing thing to know that I have more respect for you now that you learn Hindi through Swamiji and you are doing this as a prachar karya or guru karya for others too. So thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. So now one of the interesting thing is about the Mangal Murti. There is a lot of things that is said about Mangal Murti, and Australia is one of the lucky country, I would say, that they have already received their Mangal Murti or living energy statue, what we call, or idol. Let us find out, when did you receive the Mangal Murti in Australia?
Uncle, we received the Murti in 2015.
Uh-huh.
Early to mid 2015. And
what were the events that you arranged during that time?
Okay, so what happened was the Murti actually came during the early to mid 2015, and then Gurudev came in October. So after a few months, that's the time when Guruji came for the Anushthan of the Murti.
Right.
Now, during his 14 days of visit, we organized the event in Melbourne. We organized the event in, so Sydney people organized the event in Sydney. And then, of course, Sheetal Didi was there in Perth to organize the event in Perth.
Nice. So these are the pictures from Melbourne?
Yes. So the first picture you're seeing on the left-hand side, where you see this Om on the this is the Melbourne one.
Very
so
nice.
This is the Sai Temple. This is the Sai Temple, which is located in Melbourne at 32 Halley Avenue.
Is it the same temple?
That's the same.
Where you guys
this is the same. Yes. So this is the same. Yes, so this one is Jaya Ben at the back near the heater. This is me, skinny me, standing, and this was the last day of the Shibir. So I do, of course, thank you, Jaya Auntie, Sheila Auntie. They all came and then really helped in the Shibir as well. So this was the first time.
I want to mention one more name. There is somebody from Canada also.
Viresh, yes, definitely. I forgot Viresh uncle.
These pictures came from them, by the way. Viresh uncle shared these pictures.
Viresh uncle and Viresh uncle's daughter. I forgot the name, I think, but she was there as well. She came. So they all stayed at our place. So we got a new Mansi, yes. So we all got a new place because they were all coming. And this is the first time ever I got an opportunity to host someone from Samarpan. So it was all very new for me. Honestly speaking with you, I don't even remember. We were just students. Forget about arranging for someone else. We couldn't even arrange for ourselves, We were running around and just like kids who come from overseas and they are,
struggling, and we have many
it's
like that in USA
not
also.
not even struggling. Maybe if you can call it worse than struggling. but because of Guruji, till today I never say to anyone that I have struggled, because I actually didn't, honestly speaking with you. But that's another story. We'll come back to that.
Right.
So this was the first time where everything got organized. It was organized in Sai Temple, Camberwell. We did the entire 8 days Shivir. And I can say with Gurudev's blessing, the people who actually joined in 2009 in the Shivir, each and every one of them is still a sadhak. Yes,
Very
I might
beautiful.
take it as a thing that we might not have been able to increase the collectivity by a big number, but with Gurudev's blessing, whoever joined, whoever was in that Shivir, whoever was in this premises, is still a sadhak till date.
So I
thank you to Guruji.
I want to say something about that. There are two energies that were working besides Swamiji in that Shivir, the way I interpret that, okay?
Yes.
First of all, Swamiji, as you remember in his Shibir, he tells the story that how he came to Nagpur and Shirdi Sai Baba gave him the vision or darshan, and he offered the hand that this is not an ordinary work, this is an international mission, and it is global mission where you will need to get this support from many people. So I am going to offer you this help by taking over the work in my hands. Look, Shirdi Sai Baba's temple in Australia is providing this space for you to conduct the workshop. That is first thing. Second thing, there are sadhaks from the early days like Jayaben, like Viresh Bhai, myself, Bihag Bhai. We are all the people who will go places and who will take this mission very seriously, so that what we have achieved or what we have benefited from, we want that blessings to reach to many people. You had two people from that first batch of sadhak, like Viresh ji and Jaya ji, who was there with you. So even though you were a young boy, young student trying to establish in the new country, these experienced sadhak bring an energy that act like a satellite to connect with Swamiji's live energy, to connect with the Guru energy sitting in the temple through Shirdi Sai Baba's statue and Samadhi's Guru's energy. And those who came were really able to grasp it. It is because your soul, whoever was there, were blessed and connected with Swamiji's energy from the past life. That's why you were able to get it. That is my interpretation, okay?
I will also share a quick, very small experience of one of the sadhaks from this picture. I still remember there was a sadhak who is sitting in this picture, which I'll show you later. When the Shivir almost finished, he was almost packed up to go back home to India, because he was trying hard. He did masters in engineering for like a really mechanical or something, and then it was from a good university. It was from Monash University, I still remember, and he was almost packed to go back home. I don't know, he mentioned it to me, and I just, with my folded hands, I requested him that, can you please stay back to 45 days and finish your Anushthan? And if you want, after that, you can actually go back if you want to. See, he was trying to go back home for good. All I did was I just requested him to do the 45 days Anushthan, and I said, after that, you can leave, no problems. He decided and chose to stay and do the 45 days Anushthan at Sai Temple only. And I must say, this guy is working from one of the very good companies now, which is Deloitte. And he's one of the trustees now. His name is Pinakin Prabhava. He's just sitting in the second row, is this guy here. He is the managing trustee now. Yes, he is the managing trustee. He was supposed to go back home for good just after the Shivir finished.
You said Pinakin, what is the last name?
Pinakin Prabhakar.
Prabhakar ji. Very nice, very beautiful. So I am so proud that this Shibir was good investment that gave us so many stable sadhak for Australia who became now channel or medium for Swamiji in the Guru Karya. That's a beautiful story. Let's go back to your Melbourne story that when Swamiji came for the Mangal Murti, how your tour brought Swamiji to different places. What are these other pictures? You said the left side pictures were from Melbourne.
Yes.
The one in the center is from where?
This one is from Sydney.
Okay.
Or must be from. And there was, of course, the Perth one, which will be in the next slide, I think.
Right.
Yes. So the first one you will see, and the one at the down, they are all from Sai Temple. This is Sheetal Di, who came from Perth and she brings some international sadhaks as well. So yeah, this was the event which was the first time Gurudev came in 2015 October, and this is the place where we did the first Shibir.
Beautiful place, beautiful memories.
Yes,
next slide.
Absolutely.
You feel blessed when you go back to those memories. Tell us more about this retreat.
This one here, we went to a picnic.
Wow.
And we went all the way, like about 2 to 3 hours drive. There was a very nice park. And we went there as a picnic. So there were a lot of sadhaks at that time. And there were some sadhaks which we don't even know, because somehow people find out that there is this Guruji who has come from somewhere and they just join you.
Yeah.
So
not only that, some people from India also promote that, okay, our Guruji is there for the Australia.
Absolutely.
So
everyone was welcome.
That is how we go.
And Gurudev welcomed everyone with such an open heart. He's so open when he goes overseas, especially at that time. And he let everyone come in and say, you know what, no restrictions now. Just be free, let everyone free. Of course, there is certain things which we have to be careful about. But other than that, he just gave everyone a free hand. And Amrish ji was a very important part of the trip. How can we miss that?
Yeah, here comes Amrish ji.
Yes, so he is standing here. He has his own energy, of course, and he is so much fun. And it was just amazing, like everything. Then we had Guruma, who just kept on guiding us about everything. Gurudev and us discussing about the next Shivirs, which are going to happen. So when we were leaving for Sydney, that's the time we were planning here that, what are the dates, what are the tickets like. So this is what he was discussing at that time. And so this is all about the park. And of course, Guruma was giving each and she knows a lot about gardening and flowers and plants and trees. So there was so much things. Yes. So she was so much.
You can see Sheetal ji also on the right side picture here.
Yes.
Made it Victoria for Victoria. I think it is Pravesh Bhai from Africa. Yeah. So where is this in Melbourne? Tell us.
This one is one of the most beautiful places. It's called Great Ocean Road in Melbourne. It's an amazing drive. It is just 2 hours or 2.5 hours from Melbourne, from the city.
Wow.
And on one side, you have the complete ocean. You have got water wherever you can see is water. And on one side, you have mountains. So it is just one of the amazing, amazing places. When people come to Melbourne, they never leave Melbourne without seeing this place. So this is where we all went. And and I still remember
Swamiji loves nature. Swamiji and Guruma both enjoy traveling. And we can see that together with all these youngsters, they had a lot of fun. And are you holding that Swamiji's favorite bag on your shoulder?
I was lucky, yes.
He's still using that.
He still uses that, I think. God knows what he carries with that bag, because whoever has holded that, God knows what he tackles. It's like it's satellite. I think it's not just a mere bag. I think it's something bigger than that.
Absolutely. It is the Jadoo ki pudi aisa. The magic bag. So now this is Perth. We would like to invite Sheetal ji to come and tell more about this part of the story.
Very lucky enough to be part of the tour. We, not long before Swamiji came, we got a call from Melbourne saying that Swamiji wishes to extend his tour to Perth as well. So I was lucky enough to be a part of that at that time. I was having the center at my place, and there were a few sadhaks who had joined as well. So we were very excited. And so these are the photos from Perth. He came here in just for 2 days, actually. His tour was very short. The reason for that was because he wanted to spend more time with the Murthy in Melbourne.
Right.
So he gave us very short time. So 2 days in Perth, and then I think 2 days were planned in Sydney, which he cut short even more than that. For those who have hosted Swamiji, Swamiji always not only welcomes everyone and encourages everyone to be part of whatever he's doing, his itinerary for the day, but he also gives a lot of time to the sadhaks, and in going to these places, like we went to a park, we went to the beach. He suggested doing morning meditation at the beach, so that's all of us there. And Guruma also then spoke about how cleansing it is when we put our feet in the salted water in the sea. So
Yes.
with Guruma's guidance, we all stood in the water and then just felt the waves cleansing us, and it was quite a good experience at that time. And so this was the morning before he left for Sydney. Yeah.
That's beautiful memories. And I can say that based on my personal experience with Swamiji, Guruma, and the Guru Parivar, all the children, they really enjoy connecting with all the sadhaks, and whenever possible, they try to give their personal time and create the bond with everybody to make them feel that, yes, we are part of one family. So I really, really admire Guru Parivar as a whole, that how they give so much love to everyone. And these are again Guru Sanskar. These are the values that Swamiji and Guruma has brought in Samarpan family itself. So that is beautiful story, how you got Mangal Murthy, and how lucky you are to spend such a beautiful time with Swamiji and Guruma, both on a spiritual level as well as on a fun level.